In this topic of exploring speech X, I'll talk about certain activities which may be performed in a classroom or outside classroom as a learner or teacher of speech X. You may take help from these activities while also testing your knowledge of speech X. In the beginning, you can devise an activity which is based on deciding which classification do the following sentences or utterances fit into speech X. Read these utterances. I'll do few of them with you people. And after reading these utterances, you can decide that which speech act is being performed in these statements. For example, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You can see there is a clear change of a state of affairs, and there is an institutional change is also involved here. So this can clearly be seen as declaration. Declaration is a speech act which changes the state of affairs for people, and this change is quite of some bigger importance. And then we have Chomsky didn't write about peanuts. This can be seen as an information about something, and this can be seen as representative. I am really sorry. This is a kind of apology, and this could be seen as some expressive. Could you lend me a pen, please? This is a clearly a request, and this can be seen as a request may be seen as a directive. We know that the statements sharing with us the orders or request fall into the category of directives. Let's move forward. Don't touch that. This can also be seen as a kind of order, and this can also be a kind of directive. Congratulations, clearly and expressive, and you can do the rest on your own. The second activity which can be done with the students, or you can do yourself, is analyzing a certain text using some concepts based on direct and indirect speech X. You can read a text and then identify direct or indirect speech X based on that text. Then you can also identify the various facets or forces of speech X, for example, locationary force, illocationary force, or perlocationary force. Moving forward, we can have an activity based on some newspaper or journal for reading. Here you could pick out the examples for randomly. Just pick any newspaper or journal and select an article or news item in that particular newspaper or journal, and then ask somebody or yourself, do it yourself, to pick up the examples of illocationary, perlocationary, or locationary forces, direct and indirect speech X, declaratives, expressives, or other representatives or other kinds of speech X. You can also devise an activity, some interesting humorous activity based on the examples of somebody wrongly assuming his or her shared knowledge. When we are in a situation when we do not understand the shared knowledge or the shared context, we probably produce answers or the statements which might create some misunderstanding, or in many situations some humorous situation for the participants of that conversation. You just pick up such examples from the conversations you observe or something you read. Then in the last I'll share, you can read a story and analyze it, keeping in mind the limitations of speech acts. For example, overlapping of the speech acts, or identify the situations where no clear speech acts might be applied. So these are some of the interesting activities which could be performed in a classroom or outside the classroom based on your knowledge of speech acts.